The menu slipped through my fingers like it knew what it was doing. I dropped to my knees beside the booth, reaching into the shadows under the table. My hand found fabric, expensive, the kind that doesn't wrinkle, and I grabbed it for balance as I stretched for the laminated menu. Except it wasn't the seat. Heat radiated through the fabric, solid, unmistakably a thigh, and then my brain registered what my eyes confirmed when I jerked upward. The tent in his slacks was immediate, visible, straining against charcoal wool that probably cost more than my rent. Oh my God, I snatched my hand back, scrambling to my feet. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to. He sat frozen, jaw clenched so tight I could see the muscle jump. His hands gripped the table edge, knuckles bloodless. When he finally spoke, his voice came out strangled, rough in a way that made my stomach flip. Leave. His eyes dark, burning, fixed on my face like he was trying to memorize it.
Now.
Not anger, something darker, something that made the hair on my neck stand up. Sir, I really didn't. Leave. I ran. Through the kitchen, past Miguel calling after me, out the back door into the alley. Rain had started, cold March rain that soaked through my polyester uniform. I didn't stop until I hit the subway, didn't breathe until the doors closed. Just a waitress. He won't remember. Rich men never remember the help. The flowers arrived at my apartment the next morning. White orchids, 24 of them, no card. I stared at the delivery guy. Wrong address. Unit 4B, Kiara Matthews. He knows where I live. He knows my name. How did he know my name? My apartment number? I didn't take them, closed the door and called my best friend. Girl, throw them out, Simone said. Rich and creepy is still creepy. But when I left for my afternoon shift, they were inside my apartment, on my kitchen counter, the door still locked. He was in here, in my space, touching my things. My hands shook as I took the stairs instead of the elevator, checking over my shoulder every 3 seconds. The restaurant manager caught me before I could clock in. Mr. Kim requested you specifically for a private dining reservation tonight. No. Kiara. I said no, Marcus. I kept my voice steady even though my pulse hammered. Give it to Ashley. He asked for you, offered $5,000. My student loan payment flashed through my head. The eviction notice I'd shoved in my junk drawer. Mom's medical bills. $4,500. 3 more months. Table 12, Marcus said. 7 o'clock. He was already seated when I approached. Same booth as yesterday. Charcoal suit replaced with navy tonight, but the same dangerous stillness. I stopped 3 feet away, far enough. Mr. Kim, professional, distant, like my hand hadn't touched him, like I hadn't seen. Sit. I'm working. I reserved the entire section. His voice was different than yesterday, controlled now, each word measured. No one will interrupt. That's not how this works. Sit, Miss Matthews, or I'll buy the restaurant. Not a joke. His eyes said he'd do it just to fire me and hire me back on terms I couldn't refuse. I sat, kept the table between us. You know my name, I said. I know everything. He slid a folder across the table, thin, expensive leather. I didn't touch it. If this is some kind of background check. You moved here 4 years ago. Columbia University, scholarship, double major African American Studies and Business. Graduated summa cum laude, 3 jobs, $63,000 in student loans. Mother in Atlanta, dialysis twice a week, father deceased. You send her money you don't have. Cold slid down my spine. That's illegal. So is breaking and entering. Yet somehow orchids appeared in your locked apartment. I stood. I'm calling the police. And tell them what? He didn't move, but something in his voice made me freeze. That a customer tipped you $20,000 for excellent service. He pulled out a check, placed it on the table, my name already printed. $20,000. Mom's dialysis for a year. Eviction notice gone. Student loans dented. What do you want? Dinner, he gestured to the empty seat. 1 hour. Answer my questions honestly, and the money is yours regardless. And if I don't? You walk away, I won't follow. He paused. Tonight. That last word hung between us, like a promise and a threat. I looked at the check, at him, at the empty restaurant beyond our cordon section. Sat down. Why me? I asked. You touched me. Simple, direct, like it explained everything. It was an accident. I know. His hands rested on the table now, no longer gripping. Long fingers, no wedding ring. It's been 3 years since anyone touched me without fear or calculation. I don't understand. I'm not asking you to. He leaned back, and I caught his scent bergamot and something darker like smoke. Where are you from? Here we go. I'd code switched so fast my accent smoothed into something unthreatening. Atlanta. Your mother needs a transplant. Not a question, I bristled anyway. That's none of your. I can have her at the top of every list in the country by Monday. The air left my lungs. In exchange for what? Dinner, tonight, tomorrow night, however many it takes. For what? His jaw tightened. For the first time, I saw something crack in that controlled facade. To figure out why I've had 6 meetings today and remembered none of them. Why I fired my assistant for wearing the same perfume as you. Why I've been hard for 20 hours straight and my own hand doesn't work anymore. Heat flooded my face. That's you can't just. I'm not asking for sex. Each word came out clipped, precise. I'm asking for your time, your presence. I need to understand this. This. Why you? He said it like a confession, like it cost him. I've been with beautiful women, models, actresses, none of them. He stopped, started again. Yesterday, you touched my thigh for 3 seconds and I almost came in my pants like a teenager. Silence stretched. Rain battered the windows. How did you get in my apartment? I own the building. Of course he did. The cameras, I asked. Disabled an hour before the flowers arrived. That's not legal. Neither is what I want to do to you. His eyes locked on mine, dark, consuming. But I won't, not without your explicit consent, not until you ask me to. Until, not if. I don't date rich men. I'm not asking you to date me. Then what? Let me see you, talk to you, learn why my body responds to you like your oxygen and I've been drowning. The check sat between us. $20,000, mom's transplant, my loans, freedom. 1 hour, I said, then I leave. 1 hour. He pulled out his phone, typed something. I've transferred $50,000 to your mother's treatment fund. Whether you stay or go, it's hers. My vision blurred. Why? Because you're about to tell me no. And I need you to know the money isn't conditional. He stood, buttoned his jacket, moved with the kind of grace that came from expensive schools and etiquette lessons. I want you unencumbered when you make your choice. He walked to the door, stopped without turning. My driver will take you home. No one will bother you tonight. A pause. Tomorrow, if you come back, sit in this section, I'll know. Then he was gone. I sat there, hands shaking, staring at the check I hadn't touched, and the phone already buzzing with a notification from my banking app. $50,000, deposited, real. What kind of man does this? The dangerous kind, the obsessive kind. The kind who just bought his way into my head and didn't even need me to say yes. I didn't work the next night. Called in sick, stayed home, deleted 3 calls from an unknown number and 1 text that just said, I understand. On the 3rd night, Simone came over with wine and judgment. He paid off your mama's bills and you're hiding. she poured generously. Baby, at least go see what else he's offering. He's dangerous. He's rich and obsessed. There's a difference. She sprawled on my couch that didn't have bedbugs anymore because I'd finally been able to afford fumigation. You know what your problem is? I'm about to find out. You're scared it's not just him. I looked at her. Don't play. She pointed the wine bottle at me. You felt something when you touched him. That's why you're hiding. I felt horrified. Liar, she grinned. You felt that man's dick jump and your whole body responded. Now you're terrified because what if he's not the only one losing his mind? I barely looked at him. So go look at him. Let him buy you dinner. Let him stare at you like you're the only woman in the world. She refilled my glass. When's the last time anyone made you feel seen? Never. The answer was never. He could be a serial killer. Google his ass. I had extensively. Ji-hoon Kim, 38, CEO of Hanseong Technologies. Billionaire. Philanthropist. Photos of him at galas with beautiful women who all looked the same, tall, thin, pale, not one of them black. He's never dated a black woman, I said. So you'd be his first, Simone shrugged. Maybe that's why he's losing his shit. Or maybe I'm a fetish. Then make him pay for it. She stood, pulled me up. Go to work tomorrow, sit in his section, see what he does. If he's gross, walk. If he's not. She grinned. Get that man to fund your dissertation. I laughed despite myself. You're terrible. Nah, I'm practical. She grabbed her coat. And Kai, wear something that ain't polyester. Let him see you when you're not serving him. After she left, I stood in front of my closet for 20 minutes. This is so stupid. I pulled out the black dress I'd bought for graduation. Simple, elegant, the kind of thing that said I belonged in rooms that didn't want me. I wore my hair natural the next night. Twist out, edges laid, gold hoops. If he wanted to see me, he'd see all of me. The restaurant hummed with the usual Thursday crowd. I clocked in, changed in the bathroom, and walked to section 3. The hostess stopped me in the hallway. Ashley, blonde, usually friendly. You can't wear that. Her eyes scraped over my dress. It's my night off. I'm meeting someone. In the restaurant, Kiara, you know the rules. Staff aren't allowed. I'm not staff tonight. I kept my voice level, professional. The voice I used when white people needed reminding I had a degree. I'm a customer. Right, she didn't believe me. And who exactly are you meeting? Before I could answer, Marcus appeared. She's with Mr. Kim. Let her through. Ashley's face shifted. Surprise, then something uglier. Of course, right this way. Of course, she believes it when he says it. She led me to section 3, to his booth. He was already there. Same booth. Different suit, this one black, making him look like a funeral in expensive wool. His eyes tracked me from across the room, stopped when he saw the dress, the hair, the gold catching light. I felt it like a touch. Shit. My pulse kicked up. Hands went damp. This was stupid, dangerous. I should turn around and... I walked to the booth. He stood. You came back. For dinner. You're not in uniform. You said this wasn't work. Jinja, the word slipped out. Surprise. His eyes tracked down my body and back up slow enough to make me feel it. You're beautiful. Not you look beautiful, just you are. Heat crept up my neck. Can I sit? Please, he gestured, but his hand shook slightly. I slid into the booth. He sat across from me and for a moment just stared. What? I asked. I thought you wouldn't come. His voice, rough, honest. I thought I'd destroyed any chance when I told you what I did. You mean the stalking? Yes. You did. I met his eyes. But my mother's dialysis is paid for, and I'm curious. About whether you're actually insane, or just rich enough to think you can buy anything. A smile ghosted across his face. Surprising, real. Both, probably. He poured water with hands that were steadier now. What do you want to know? Everything you didn't put in that file. We talked for 2 hours. He told me about growing up between two countries, never quite fitting in either. About his father's expectations and his mother's silence. About building an empire to prove himself and discovering nothing felt like enough. I told him about Atlanta, about watching my father die from lack of insurance, about choosing Colombia because it was far from everything I knew, about code switching so often I sometimes forgot which voice was real. This one, he said, the one you're using now, this is real. How do you know? Because you just called me out for buying your mother's health care. You wouldn't do that in your work voice. Fair point. The restaurant emptied around us. Marcus dimmed the lights. Still we talked. I need to tell you something, Jihoon said finally. Here it comes. The wife, the girlfriend, the catch. My family, he stopped, started again. My mother is traditional, very traditional. She has expectations. About who you date. Yes. And I'm not Korean. No, he met my eyes. You're not. Silence stretched between us. So this is a fetish, I said. No, sharp, definitive. This is, he exhaled. A-ish. Ran his hand through his hair. Frustration bled through. I don't know what this is, but it's not that. Then what? Terrifying. He leaned forward. You terrify me, because I've spent 3 days trying to talk myself out of this, and every reason I find just makes me want you more. That's not healthy. I know. He reached across the table, stopped just short of my hand. But I'm asking you to give me a chance anyway, to let me take you to dinner. Real dinner, not here, to let me, his jaw clenched, to let me try to be someone who deserves your time. Mom's transplant paid for, student loans cut in half, freedom. Or just a rich man who'll get bored. One more dinner, I said. One more dinner, relief flooded his face. Tomorrow. No, I stood. Tomorrow I have class. Tomorrow I have my life. If you want to see me, you work around my schedule, not the other way around. He stood too. What's your schedule? I'll text you. You don't have my number. Yes, I do. You called me 3 times the other night, remember? I grabbed my coat. I'll think about it and let you know. I walked toward the door, made it 5 steps before his voice stopped me. Kiera. I turned. Thank you for coming back. Something in his voice, vulnerable, grateful, desperate, made my chest tight. Don't thank me yet, I said. I haven't decided if you're worth the trouble. I left him standing there. Liar, you decided the second you put on that dress. He texted the next morning. Unknown, I can't stop thinking about you in that dress. Unknown, this is Jihoon, in case that wasn't clear. Unknown, can I see you today? I stared at my phone through my morning lecture. Ignored it. Focused on the professor discussing intersectional frameworks and systemic oppression. My phone buzzed. Unknown, I'm being too much, I'm sorry. Unknown, but I'm not sorry enough to stop. I bit back a smile. Me, I have class until 3, work at 6. Jihoon, between. Me, library, studying. Jihoon, which library? Me, why? Jihoon, so I know where to bring you coffee. This man. Me, butler, 4th floor. Jihoon, I'll be there. He showed up at 3:07. I saw him through the stacks. Black coat, sharp jaw, completely out of place among broke grad students and ancient books. He found me at my usual table, set down coffee, expensive kind, the kind that didn't come from carts. Hi, he said. Stalker. I prefer persistent. He gestured to the empty chair. May I? It's a public library. He sat. For a moment just watched me work, my pen scratching notes, highlighter marking passages. "What are you studying?" he asked. "Cultural hegemony and resistance movements." "Heavy." "Necessary." I looked up. "Why are you really here?" "I wanted to see you." "You saw me yesterday." "Not enough." He leaned back, casual, but his hands gripped the chair arms. "I know this is intense. I know I should slow down, but I can't." He stopped. "Every hour I don't see you feels wasted." "Run, this is not normal. This is dangerous." "That's not healthy," I said. "Gwenchana," he said it soft. "I know it's not okay, but I'm asking you to let me try anyway." "Try what?" "To figure out if this is real, or if I'm losing my mind." Students whispered at nearby tables, staring. At him, at us, at the clearly expensive man sitting with a clearly out-of-place black girl. "Here we go." "People are starring," I said. "Let them." "Easy for you to say." "No," his eyes locked on mine. "It's not easy because I see how they look at you, like you don't belong here in this library, at my table, in my world." His voice dropped. "But you do more than any of them." "You don't know that." "I'm learning." He stood. "I have a meeting, but tonight after your shift, will you let me take you somewhere?" "Where?" "Somewhere we can talk without people staring." "His place." He means his place. "I don't know if that's smart." "It's not. Honest, always honest. But I'm asking anyway." I looked at him, at the coffee he'd brought, at the way he stood there, waiting, not demanding. "Text me the address," I said. Relief flooded his face. "Thank you." He left. I tried to focus on my work. Failed completely. The car arrived at 10:47. Same Mercedes. Same driver who didn't speak but held the door open like I mattered. I slid inside. Found Jihoon waiting, still in the suit from earlier but with his tie loosened, top button undone. "Hi," he said. "Hi." The car pulled away from everything I knew. "Tell me about your research," he said. "How do you know about my research?" "I read your thesis, twice." I turned to stare at him. "That's not published." "I have resources." He met my gaze without flinching. "You argued that respectability politics erode collective resistance while appearing to uplift individual achievement. Your writing is sharp, uncompromising." No one had read my thesis, except my advisor. "Did you agree with it?" "No," his honesty startled me. "I think individual achievement matters, but your point about the cost, about what we sacrifice to be deemed acceptable," he paused. "That stayed with me." "Why?" He looked out the window. Rain started. Of course it did. "Because I've spent my entire life being acceptable, speaking perfect English, wearing the right clothes, attending the right schools, building the right company." His voice went quiet. "And I'm still not enough for my mother. Still too Korean for America, too American for Korea." "Oh. Is that why you want me?" I asked. "Because I'm the ultimate act of rebellion." "No," he turned back. "I want you because when you touched me, I felt something I haven't felt in years." "What?" "Real." The car pulled through gates, up a drive, into a courtyard. "This is your house," I breathed. "One of them." We went inside. Marble floors, museum art, wealth that didn't announce itself because it didn't have to. "Shoes," he said, towing off Italian leather. I slipped out of my sneakers, suddenly aware of my Target socks with the hole near the big toe. He noticed, didn't comment. Led me deeper. At the base of a sweeping staircase, a man appeared. Older, suit, security probably. He looked at me, then at Jihoon. Spoke rapid Korean I didn't understand. Jihoon's response was clipped, sharp, dismissive. The man bowed slightly, left. "What did he say?" I asked. Jihoon's jaw tightened. "Nothing important." He asked if I was a delivery, didn't he? Silence. Or staff, I laughed, bitter. Of course, black woman in your house must be the help. Kiera. No, it's fine, I'm used to it. I moved past him. Where's this dinner you promised? He caught my wrist, gentle. I'm sorry. You didn't say it. But I brought you into a world where people will. His thumb brushed my pulse point. And I'm sorry for that. I wanted to pull away, wanted to leave. Wanted to stop, wanting the way his touch made my skin hum. What did you tell him? I asked. That you're my guest, and if he ever disrespects you again, he's fired. That won't change what he thinks. No, he let me go, but it'll change what he says. It's a start. We stood there, rain against windows, his scent bergamot and smoke surrounding me. This is so stupid. Different worlds, different expectations, this won't work. Come on, he said. I have a chef preparing dinner. Dinner was octopus, and beef I couldn't name, and vegetables that tasted like they'd been grown by people who whispered to plants. Everything served on pottery worth more than my car. We talked, real conversation. He asked about my research, my mother, what I wanted after graduation. Listened like my words mattered. I asked about his business, his family, why he looked so tired. I don't sleep well, he said. Since when? Since 3 days ago. Our eyes met. Heat crept up my neck. This is insane, I said. Yes. We don't even know each other. I know you take night classes, that you text your mother every morning, that you eat the same lunch Monday through Friday, turkey sandwich, apple, black coffee, because it's cheap and efficient. He poured more wine. I know you hate that you have to be twice as good to be seen as half as competent, that you're exhausted from explaining your existence to people who'll never understand. I set down my chopsticks. You can't know that from a background check. No, I know it because I've spent 3 days watching you. He didn't look away. Not physically, but I had someone observe your routine, map your movements, report back. That's stalking, yes. Matter of fact. I'm not a good man, Kiera. I'm obsessive and controlling, and I've done things that would horrify you. He leaned back. But I won't lie to you, not about who I am. Thunder rolled outside. The lights flickered. Why are you telling me this? Because if you stay, I need you to understand what you're choosing. His voice dropped. I want you. I've wanted you since your hand touched my thigh, and my body remembered it's capable of feeling something besides rage and ambition. I want to know what you taste like, what sounds you make, whether you'd still look at me with those sharp eyes while I'm inside you. My breath caught. But more than that, he stood, moved to the window. Rain lashed the glass. I want to figure out why you make me feel human again, and that scares me more than anything I've ever faced. I should run. Every instinct screamed it. Instead, I stood, walked to him. Turn around, I said. He did. We stood a foot apart, close enough to feel the heat between us, far enough that the choice was still mine. I need you to understand something, I said. What? I'm not sleeping with you tonight, not next week, maybe not ever. I held his gaze. If that changes your offer, if the money, the dinners, all of this disappears because I won't fuck you, tell me now. I'll leave and we're done. He stepped closer. The money is yours regardless, every penny, whether you touch me again or not. I don't believe you. I know. His hands stayed at his sides, fisted. But it's true. I want you. God, I want you. But more than that, his voice cracked. I need to know this is real. And if sex is what I wanted, I could buy that anywhere. Then what do you want? You, however you'll let me have you. Lightning split the sky. I don't trust you, I said. Good, you shouldn't. I don't know if this is real, or if you're just bored. It's real, I wish it wasn't. If I do this, if I let this happen, it's on my terms. Whatever terms you set. His hands stayed at his sides, trembling now. I'll follow them. You're lying. Probably. Honest again, brutal in it. But I'll try. For you, I'll try to be someone who deserves your time. I reached up, touched his jaw. He closed his eyes, breath shuddered out. What are you so afraid of? I whispered. When he opened his eyes, what I saw there stole my air. That this is the best I'll ever feel, and you'll leave anyway. Mom would kill me. Simone would kill me. I kissed him. Or he kissed me. Didn't matter. Just heat and desperate need, and his hands finally touching me, cupping my face like I might break, pulling me closer like I might disappear. He tasted like wine and rain, and 3 days of wanting. I tasted like clarity breaking through. This was so stupid, so dangerous. I kissed him anyway. His hand slid into my hair, gentle, reverent, like he'd been dreaming of this, and I made a sound that should have embarrassed me. He groaned, pulled back, rested his forehead against mine. Stay, not a command, a plea. Just tonight, sleep in my bed, let me hold you, nothing else, His voice cracked. I need to know this is real. Jihoon. I'll give you anything, name it, my company, my money, my life. His hands framed my face. Just don't leave yet. That's cashmere. I'm wearing target clearance. This won't work, it can't work. One night, I heard myself say. One night, he kissed my forehead, soft, gentle, nothing like the desperation from before. Thank you. He led me upstairs, to a bedroom that was all dark wood and silk and windows overlooking the city. Gave me clothes that smelled like him, left me alone to change. When he came back, he wore nothing but sleep pants. All lean muscle and golden skin and hunger he wasn't bothering to hide anymore. We lay down in his bed. He pulled me against him, my back to his chest, his arm around my waist, his breath warm on my neck. This is insane, I whispered. I know. We don't even know if we like each other. I know. What happens tomorrow? His arm tightened. Tomorrow, I convince you to stay another night, and another, until you stop asking what happens next. That's not healthy. No, he pressed a kiss to my shoulder, but it's honest. I lay there, his heartbeat steady against my spine, and wondered what the hell I'd just agreed to. One night, I told myself. But as sleep pulled me under, wrapped in bergamot and smoke, and the warmth of a man who'd set his entire world on fire just to watch me burn with him, I knew the truth. One night would never be enough. For either of us.